nerds and collectors. On this episode of the Creation Evaluation Station, we're going to be doing the final set in the Season 13 Ninjago Master of the Mountain wave. And it's this big boy here, the Skull Sorcerer Dragon. Fun. Gotta love Dragon Day. So, anyways, before I get to it any further, I just wanted to let new viewers know that I do in-depth reviews of models and construction kits, both new and old, mostly Lego, but other products as well. I also do reviews and discussions of other creative works such as movies, video games, and animation. Because they are in-depth reviews, they can be on the long side, especially when they're larger sets. So make sure you're using the timestamps embedded here in the bottom or in the description to jump around to your favorite parts or to use as bookmarks to come back to at a later date. So, back to this guy. Let's take a closer look at that. There's some really good news if you've been following my series here. Right there, there are two of the player platforms, I guess you could call it, for the RPG aspect of this wave. It's great because that brings a total of 6. That means there's one for each ninja. And that is the back, showing everything. This is showing how the other sets connect together. And, yeah. Big old dragon. I'm looking forward to it. But anyways, its details. It is set number 71721. It's for ages 9 and up and has 1,016 pieces. It originally retailed for $79.99 and it no longer is available, but was released in June of 2020. So, you know how I like dragons, and this one looks like a really cool dragon. I'm excited to put it together. So let's go crack it open and check it out. Here we have the contents of the box, and we got our instruction booklet wrapped up in plastic. It's nice and thick in the horizontal orientation. We have the map and game instructions in there, and a very small sticker sheet inside as well. We also have a pamphlet here for Legoland, and we have some kind of box. It has either a cloth or a vinyl piece for the dragon's wings, and then we have the die piece that is loose inside the box. Now we have bag 1, bag 2, bag 3, bag 4, bag 5, bag 6, bag 7, and bag 8. Here we have the contents of bag 1. We got the loose stuff here too that was in the box. But start off, we have the good old part separator in the green this time. It is a big enough set that it's not surprising it's here. Got lots of orange pieces. We're obviously not building the dragon yet. We're building the dungeon area. We have Jay and Nia in here. And we've got a bunch of transparent parts, including a blue gem, a bunch of orange cheese wedges, and some tiles. Oh wait, they're not tiles. Excuse me, they're one by one. Plates. Transparent, I didn't see the studs. Yeah, dumb excuse, right? Then we got some transparent green flames that they like to use in this wave. It'd be nice to see other pieces in this color. Other just different flame pieces. But, this is the last set in the wave, so I don't know if we'll see anything else. There's the contents of bag 2, and once again we have more lava pieces and stuff. So this is once again the dungeon floor. We got some transparent orange pieces up here, some round bricks, circle bricks, whatever you want to call them. Kai is in here along with a gray figure. I don't know what it is. We'll find out. Got a bunch of small parts here. Transparent orange cones. Transparent orange 1x2 plates. More of those green flame pieces. Quite a few of these throughout this whole entire wave. Yep, that's that. Moving on to the next one. Here we have the contents of bag 3, and we're finally building the dragon. And we have more transgreen pieces. Now, when I said I wanted more transgreen, I didn't just mean generally. I meant more like the green, different kinds of green flame. But these are cool just the same. Not only do we have the transparent green, we also have these in this pastel green. I'm not sure what you call that. Light green? Light green. Probably just light green. And over here we have the Skull Sorcerer, and also a bunch of his minions, which Risen Warriors, I think they're called. Something like that. We have quite a few small pieces in here. More in green and light green. And we also have some transparent green pyramids. We also have a lot of these brackets here too for rods and stuff, although there really aren't many rods in here. Maybe they're connections for other parts. Here we have bag 4. We don't have too many here, but what we do have, we have many of. We have absolutely tons of these angle pieces for the Technic rods. We also have a bunch of robot arms. Most of them are white, although we have some in brown as well. Some other pieces. A lot of these white cones. And absolutely ton of these small rod pieces, which might be going with them and the other ones in the other bag. So, mystery solved. But yeah, there's a lot of little pieces in here, but not overall tons. Here we have bag 5, and there's a lot of different hinge pieces here. So have a lot of different white. We have inverted curves, got some white plates, some other different slopes, angled parts here. We have a black sword, a non-gold one. That's cool. It's always nice to see something different with that. Got a lot of little white studs here, hollow studs. Those little angle brackets, some green studs, little black claws, little clip pieces, trans green pyramids. Not too much stuff in this bag. Most of it's small, what there is. Here we have the contents of bag 6. We have a lot of hinges, a lot of white stuff in here. Now, this is basically a white dragon. Bone dragon. Got some of that green colored stuff. Now we got these shooter pieces here. I think that they were multiple shots, if I remember right. I haven't dealt with them too much. Some angle pieces there. Brackets for Technic pins. Got some droid body parts. Claws, other sort of different parts. Yeah, there's a little bit here. Most of this is smaller stuff, though. Here we have the 7th and second to last bag. And we don't have a lot of pieces in here. What we do have is a lot of Technic stuff. Both rods and some of the bent beams and a lot of rod connectors. A lot. And we've got some cones over here and claws. And additional pin parts. Yeah, not a lot, but a lot of Technic building. Here we have our last bag, bag number 8, and we got some more drawing pieces here. Now there's not a lot here, but what we have is very interesting. For one, we have this. This is the meteorite rock piece, whatever you want to call it. I think this is the first time we've seen it in this transparent green. We've had it before in transparent orange, and they've done some other things with them. Brown, gray, even I think a dual molded color. I'm not sure, but this is the first time I've seen them in this transparent green color. It's kind of cool. And then down here, we have some eyes. Dragon eyes. Printed on both sides. Thought that it would be a little bit bigger head-wise, like I was expecting 2 of these, but nope, it's, at least at that point, is only 2 studs wide at that part of the head. The rest of it's built somehow. Well, we haven't done it yet. Got some spiders here. I think these are most of the parts for the head. Got a bunch of robot arms and other connector parts here. Some more claws, both the big and small ones. So let's go finish this big boy up. Here we have our leftover parts from the set, and we have quite a few and some good fun stuff, like a lot of weapons. There's a machete, katana, sai. Got some transparent parts. These pyramids, the green flame, orange cheese wedge, and other different connector parts. Lightsaber hilts and claws and all sorts of good stuff in here. Some of these round ones are, I believe, extra ammo. But yeah, that's quite about a bit here. And of course we have the brick separator. Here we have some of the cast of characters in this set. The bad guys, most part. We've got two different awakened warriors. Well, different, they're exactly the same. Then we have the Skull Sorcerer here. And then we have this, which is kind of just a hidden figure in that it's supposed to be a statue. So it's not really a character, but it is a statue. It does have minifigure parts and armor and weapons, which you could use the weapons for your other characters as well. It's kind of a weird thing because looks like he's supposed to be some kind of samurai warrior with that hair and that very samurai armor, but yet he's got a very round shield that looks something like a Viking shield, which is a classic castle set piece, I think. Maybe a newer version of it, I'm not sure. And then the really big axe here, which is also something I don't think the samurais used much for axes. But that's interesting enough. We're gonna strip these guys down and take a closer look at those. Like I said, not much to see. These skeletons are pretty much what they are. So we're not gonna strip them all. We'll just look at the Sorcerer King here real quick. We've seen almost all these characters except for that weird statue in other sets. But there's his robes. They look really nice. And if we pop off his mask and hat, there's his face. And on the back side, there is no back side of his face. He doesn't have a second face. And let's take his head off, remove the wings, which is nice. This transparent piece used to put the wings on. It's kind of a nice little design. And there is his back, which kind of just continues the robes. There's no actual printing on the lower back of it, which kind of sucks, but that's pretty much what they do with the robe dress piece anyways. They only do the front, none of the sides or the back, which kind of is a shame because they already have some nice printing. It'd be nice to have more on the rest of it, although with the pattern he's got there, maybe he doesn't need it. But that's it for these guys. Let's move on to our good guys. Here we have our good guys. We have Kai, Jay, and Kai's sister Nia. Kind of the family, so to speak. Since at least at one point, I don't know about the current story, but I know that Nia and Jay here were potentially a couple. But anyways, besides all the family stuff going on here, we got them all in their awesome looking armor gear for this wave. And the gold ones have the lion shield, and the silver ones have the dragon shield. It's a nice touch having different ones. Now, I like this Morning Star flail, whatever this is supposed to be here that Jay's got. But Nia and Kai's weapons are a little lackluster. Nothing amazing there. Just a build for a sword and a spear. Although, That's a really small sword. Anyways, let's take off the gear and take a better close look at those prints that's hiding underneath all that armor. I got all that gear off so we can actually see their printing, and I think Nia's my favorite out of these three. She's got more elaborate printing overall, although these have some really big gold and silver blobs on them, but she's got much more intricate there with the light blue, the cloud pieces. I don't know, just looks better to me. Plus there's some other printing besides just the shiny silver and gold, although I guess there's some more on these guys. But yeah, I think Nia wins that. And we turn around here, everybody's got a second face, and the back doesn't look too bad, although I think once again Nia's looks better. So I think Jay's looks a little better than Kai's. At least he's got some armor back here. Jay, did I get that right? Yeah, Jay's got more armor back here, while Kai here looks like he's just got straps for his chest plate on the front. So his back is not protected, but they still have their pauldrons and stuff. But anyways, you don't even see any of this armor, but it's all very nice looking. I think Nia's my favorite out of these, probably out of the whole wave. Alright, we've got everything put together here. It's hard to get it all into screen. Before we talk about the big dragon here, we're gonna talk about the things he's looking over, which is the dungeon part of this set. Before I even get to that, though, we've got the dice over here, and also these character status bars and inventories and stuff. I talk about these and the spinner dice in the very first video in detail, so there should be a link up here. I'll take you to that first video and just go to the review part, because I believe I talked about it right at the beginning. Though I do have something to say, which if you watch that video I questioned, is whether there would be enough of these for one of our ninjas, and this set has 2. So if you have every set in this wave, you will be able to have enough of these for all 6 ninjas. So everybody can have one. Not that every set has 6 ninjas, but that way you can have one for each ninja in the game. And we're going to look at all these connected together at some point in time. Since this is the last set, we will be looking at that soon. But for starters, let's deal with this. Now, there's actually 2 sections here in the lava area. We'll talk about both of them. This one's got a nice little path here. It's posable, so you can set it up the way you want. This platform swings, there we go, from one side to the other. You can imagine you use a dice roll to decide which way it goes, or something like that, to determine where you're going to go. Now this platform over here that Kai is sitting, or this part, it's got an extra life, and it's got a gem on it as well. See that closer. And the one he is on is just kind of there. It's part of the pathway. And this one also is part of the pathway, a different pathway. And you can see there that it has clips. Both of these have clips, so you can attach them to other stuff. Even this one has a clip here, although this one feels more like a dead end, but you can add more to it. Now this one is guarding the sword, and we've got this statue that also guards the sword. And if you land on this tile, it's going to fall down on top of you and potentially chop you with its giant axe. It's a nice little trap, I think. And we also have a spider hidden here. Once again, we have connector points. There's one here to connect to the other part, and there's also 2 more here on the side, although it's kind of a weird place to put connector pieces, but you can, especially considering the main path is over here. The statue is in the way on the other side here. So, but there are attachment points there. Of course, there are different attachment points. There's clips, and then there's the actual bars that clip onto things. So, how you decide to set that up is up to you. You got two options with this set. Some of the other ones you did not have any options, and you just got what you got. As I said, we're gonna see all these connected together. But that's it for that for now. Let's look at that big old dragon that's hanging out here. And he is massive. Although I think some of the newer dragons are a little bit bulkier. This guy is a really long tail and a long body and really big wingspan. You can see there. Quite large. Now he does have the cool swinging tail thing, but unfortunately this cool thing about it also makes it lame because it'll always curl up on you. And it's got a sword tip there at the end. And that is on a little ball joint, so if you want to move that around you can. Moving up from the tail here, we've got the rear legs here. They just have a hip joint and a joint at the ankle. The knees are permanently bent into a certain aspect, and just this does have a nice handle here, although you got to be careful not to fiddle around here too much because of these ribs, which are on joints, but you don't really need to open them up or anything, but you can have a tendency to knock them off. Now moving up to the legs, or the arms, or the upper legs, the front legs. We have a hinge here at the heel. We have a knee hinge. Oh my gosh, we have a knee hinge, which I was so excited for when I was building it. Oh, I forgot to mention the toes, the individual toes are posable. The rear claw is not, but the reason being, I was excited and then immediately disappointed. It's because the shoulder doesn't rotate. So the fact that the lower arm can pose at the elbow doesn't really amount to too much. And now moving up to the wings, they are on a ball joint and allow for quite a bit of movement. Now they are restricted some because of their big flat piece here, and they'll only lay down there, but you can move them up higher this way. You can rotate them, and you can also move them from side to side, so you can get quite a bit of movement. You just can't bring them down any further, which they do get in the way, and they also, there's no posability in the rest of this. And I do love the patterning here, and these are actual holes, not just printed hole, actual holes that look really cool for an undead dragon. And the nice bone pattern there is nice as well. The only problem is, if you look on the other side here, yeah, the printing is only on one side, which is a slight disappointment. It would be nice to have it on both sides. But the wings are pretty neat. Now, as I said, the shoulders don't move, and I partially think the reason why the shoulders don't move is the wings are actually mounted on the shoulders. I don't know. The end product looks cool, but I feel like they should have done something different in here. We also have a multi-stud shooter on each shoulder here. We have our skull sorcerer standing there. Doesn't really have a seat. There's just some studs that are there for him to stand on, but we do have some flags there. Now this guy is pretty sturdy, and not a lot of things fall off him, except for whatever reason, there's a sigh here and a sigh on the other side, and your finger can easily catch them and knock them off. I don't even know why they're there. They don't really make the body look any better, but they are there and something to consider. Yeah, right here we have a lever, and this is one of the cool things that this has. And I'm not sure how to do it. You need to push down on the lever, and you can see it from the back corner here. Keep your eye right here. Boom! Yeah, it opens up the rib cage, allowing for this bomb to drop out of the chest. Now, if you drop from a good enough height, it'll probably pop open, which is kind of the point. Although opening it, not easy. Now, what's in here are a bunch of spiders and some little bones and things. I don't know how deadly they are, but maybe they're plague infested or something. But that is a really cool feature there. Let's see if I can show it from the front here. As I press that, opens right up. And to get it back in, you don't want to leave it closed, of course, and you just slide it in there. It catches on these two right here that hang down, so it won't roll out. But they move just enough, and they're just tight enough that you can get the ball in there. I find that kind of clever. Now, we're not quite done with posability. We gotta look at this head, which, by the way, this is an awesome head. It is brick built and looks absolutely beautiful. You got plenty of back to side movement, a little up and down with this joint, and then a lot more up and down with this one, but not so much left and right. Very little, to be exact. And then, like I said, the jaw opens up, closes nicely, and that head just looks amazing with some printed eyes, but all the rest of it, it's all brick built. So let's head back to the desk, give this a final evaluation. First, my final thoughts. Overall, I like this set. I do have some mixed feelings about some things on here, but overall, I do like this set. I'll talk more about my negatives when I do the final eval, because it relates to stuff there. But you see, there is a lot here, so that's one good thing. There's a lot to you get with this set. So with that, let's move into the final evaluation. As far as appearance, if you can't tell just by looking at all this, I end up giving it a 10. This whole set overall looks great. It's got some great looking character figures in it. The dragon looks amazing. Love the brick built head, and the overall little dungeon paths over here are nice to look at as well, for a lava filled dungeon anyways. Now, as far as the functions go, you got some traps here. They work fairly well for what they need to do. The dragon itself, the posability, it's good in most places. My biggest issue with posability is the front legs, the fact that the shoulders don't move. We have elbows, which is surprising, but we don't have shoulders that move. And with the lack of shoulders, it kind of makes the elbow movement ineffective. So what was the even point in making the elbows move? Now, I think the reason why they didn't have the shoulders move is because the wings are attached to the shoulders. Or that just might be their design philosophy when they were doing these sets at that point in time, because I noticed the Rhino also did not have any shoulder posability. I think the back legs could pose at the waist, but shoulders did not there either. With the Rhino, it was a little understandable. With the dragon, you want a little, you want him to be able to lift up his arm and go roar. Also, yes, the lever for dropping the bomb out of his chest, that works really good and is nice. And first, I didn't where it's located, I didn't think it would work too well. Like, it'd be hard to activate, but it actually works quite well. You got posability in the neck. I wish the wings would maybe fold up. They look amazing opened up like this. He's very zoomable, but you want to put him in a more confined area. Nope. I mean, the best you can do is fold up the wings like this, so it takes up a little bit less space out. But yeah, there's not a lot there. I like the, the blasters here on his shoulders. Those are nice. The swinging tail has issue. All swinging tails do is that it likes to curl up. Other than that, it looks really good, but we already talked about appearance. So as far as function goes, I am giving it a 9. There's some good stuff here, and then there's some not so good stuff, or some things that they maybe could have done differently. Like I said, maybe they did it on purpose as well, but I can't tell. And even still, it would be better if they could work around it and do it differently. So now, as far as fun, we got a good balance between good guys, bad guys. We got 3 of each, essentially, except the bad guys have this big boy here, this big old dragon. So it's a little off-weighty with the story narrative. These guys have to fight a big old dragon. It's kind of rough while they're on a lava-filled dungeon, which that makes things even more awkward. Other than that, I mean, the set was fun to build. This is a really interesting build. Despite my little nitpicks about some of the things that I'm not unhappy about, but could be improved. So I ended up giving fun a 9. And the dragon, by the way, is very swooshable. It's got a nice, you can hold it here, right here in the middle, with your thumb on the drop point for the bomb. And I mean, it's too bad there's not a lever for flapping the wings. That would have been awesome, but I suppose you can't have both. Although I have a feeling they could have worked it in maybe somehow, but they didn't. But it's still very zoomable and fun to fly around with. So, giving it a 9 is more have to do with the story elements and the combination. Your kids are going to have a lot of fun just playing with the dragon. It's a cool dragon to play with. Now, as far as technique, there were some really nice things that went into the build of the dragon. Now, the dungeon areas, nothing amazing there. Nothing bad either, but the dragon itself was really nice. Like, I compliment this brick, the head, tons. I absolutely love that head, and the overall body is really nice too. It's got a nice aesthetic going throughout it with the armor and the skeletal nature of it. And yeah, what did I give it? Yes, I did. I gave technique a 10. So with all that, you add all that up and you get a 38 divided by 4, and you're going to get a 9.5. So yeah, an overall really good set. Now, normally I don't talk about price, and I didn't do my math here, but it has over 1,000 pieces and was $79.99. So it's going to be underneath your 10 cents per piece, and you got an awesome, over a good fun set here. So this would definitely be getting at least a good, without knowing the exact numbers. And I mean, that isn't always important, the piece part, but if the piece part count is definitely under standard and you have a good set, you've got an overall good price for this set. But that's, also when you could get this on the main market. Now you have to go to the secondary market, and I don't know what you'll be paying for prices there. So anyways, let me know what you guys think about this set. This is our last one in the Season 13 Master of the Mountain wave, and we are going to be having a top 10 sort of video, and I'm also going to have a short video where we just look at the whole thing combined together, because all these little dungeon parts are supposed to can be connected to make a bigger dungeon. Probably going to be a short video. I mean, if you want to look at every little individual thing, I kind of have reviews on every set, but we'll just take an overall look at the massive dungeon. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, and if you're new here, subscribe. And if you're not new here and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to get more content, and hit the follow button. And also there are links down in the description to Twitter and Facebook that you can follow me on those, and I get notifications out faster than YouTube, although they've been improving as of late, which is good for them. Good for me as well. But yeah, there's that down there. There's also a Patreon you can check out. There's not much there, it needs work, but it is there. So, and let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments. And that's it for me here, the Creation Evaluation Station, reminding you that creativity is key.